Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Tammy Slaton's siblings give up. Are they done with the bad attitude? All 1,000 pounds. Sisters fans know that Tammy Slaton can be hard to deal with from time to time. Her sister, Amy Halterman, has been her caregiver for years. But Amy has a growing family, and less time for Tammy now. Amy hired a nurse to help Tammy this season, but it seems like Nurse Tissa's patience is running thin. An anonymous source told TV show's Ace that Nurse Tissa gave up on her and quit. That's why we haven't seen much of her in the new episodes. In the most recent episode, we saw Tammy throw yet another temper tantrum while on vacation with her siblings in Tennessee. Will this finally be the straw that breaks the camel's back? Will her siblings finally give up on her this time? No one appreciates the bad attitude Tammy Slaton brings with each episode. As we reported in the past, Tammy Slaton has no problem labeling herself as a baddie. However, fans find this incredibly frustrating more than anything. Since 1,000 pounds, Sisters debuted, we've seen Tammy and Amy try to lose weight. Their brother Chris even became part of the journey. While Amy and Chris worked hard enough to get their weight loss surgeries, Tammy barely lost any weight. She made significant progress while in rehab, but gained all her weight back once she left the facility. Fans widely believe she has no one to blame but herself for her lack of progress. Adding to fans' frustrations is the vacation situation. In the newest 1,000 pounds Sisters episode, we'll get to see the Slaton family explore Tennessee and have some family fun. However, when we left them, they just arrived at their cabin after a long drive, and Tammy wasn't willing to get out of the van. Chris says he knew Tammy was going to be difficult during the trip, and she immediately snapped at him. Y'all need to leave me alone. I don't care what ing do tonight. I don't give a f. I really don't feel good and I didn't want to come. The 35-year-old shouted at her family as they tried to get her to join them in the cabin. It's not going to change anything. Tammy proceeded to complain that she wanted to go home as the episode wrapped up. It seems as if Chris, Amy, and the rest of the family will simply leave her in the van for the night. But we'll just have to see when the new episode airs tomorrow. Fans are fed up with the TLC star's negative attitude. It's really hard to cheer for someone who has no interest in helping themselves. And that's why the show's fans are burning out on Tammy Slaton. Many fans said in comment threads that they wouldn't have put up with Tammy's tantrum in the van. If her siblings are still willing to stick by her after all that, they have the patience of saints. For most of her life, Tammy Slaton had lived beneath the weight of expectations. Her own, her family's, and the millions of viewers who tuned in weekly to watch her struggle, fight, and occasionally triumph on 1,000 pounds, Sisters. But on one gray November morning in Dixon, Kentucky, it wasn't Tammy's weight that felt the heaviest. It was the silence. Chris, Amanda, and Amy were all seated around the kitchen table of Amy's new rental home, their faces tight with frustration. Tammy wasn't there yet, she was still at her own place, but the meeting was definitely about her. Again. I'm exhausted, Amy said, throwing her hands into her lap. Every time we try to help her, she bites our heads off like we did something wrong. Amanda had her arms crossed so tightly it looked like she was holding herself together. I love Tam to death, but that attitude? Phew. It's like wrestling a bear with a toothache. Chris exhaled slowly, rubbing his forehead. Y'all, I'm at the point where I don't know what else to do. We push, she pushes back harder. We try tough love, she shuts down. We give her space, she gets mad we ain't checking in. It was the same cycle over and over, and it wore each of them down in different ways. Amy's voice softened. She's been through a lot. Losing Caleb, fighting depression. I know she's hurting. Amanda nodded. We all hurt, but we don't take it out on each other like she does. Well, sometimes we do, Chris muttered, raising a brow. They chuckled weakly, but the tension didn't leave the room. Across town, Tammy sat on her couch with her phone in her hand, staring at the text Amy had sent. We're coming over. Family talk. Just those words made her stomach knot. Family talks usually meant someone telling her how she'd messed up, again. She threw her head back and groaned. Lord, give me patience. Or maybe strength. Actually, give me both. When the knock finally came, she didn't get up. Come in, she yelled. The siblings stepped inside cautiously, as though Tammy might be lying in wait like an irritated dragon. She wasn't. She was sitting with her arms folded and her expression guarded. Chris sat down across from her. Tam, we gotta talk. Y'all always gotta talk, Tammy snapped immediately. Can a person just live? Amanda rolled her eyes. This is exactly what we mean. You come at us like we're enemies. Tammy's face flushed red, partly anger, partly shame. Maybe if y'all didn't act like I'm a problem to fix. Ain't nobody trying to fix you, Amy said, her voice surprisingly calm. We're trying to help because we love you. But the way you talk to us, Tam, it's too much. We're tired. That word, tired, hit Tammy harder than she expected. Her siblings had stood by her through everything. Years of health scares, dramatic meltdowns, fights, breakups, setbacks, surgeries. They had never once said they were done, opened her mouth until to fire back something defensive, but her breath hitched in her throat. Something cracked inside her. She didn't want to admit it, but she knew they were right. Her pain had turned to anger, and her anger had turned into armor she didn't know how to take off. I'm trying, she whispered, barely audible. We know you are, Amy said. But you can't keep pushing us away and expect us to keep running back. Chris leaned forward. Here's the deal, Tam. We're not giving up on you. But we are stepping back. For our own sanity. Tammy blinked. Stepping back? Yep, Amanda said bluntly. We can't be your emotional punching bags no more. We'll be here, but you gotta meet us halfway. No more screaming. No more cussing us out. No more threats to block us when you get mad. Amy reached over and touched Tammy's hand gently. We love you, but we need you to love us back in a healthy way. For a moment, no one spoke. The hum of the refrigerator filled the silence. Tammy swallowed hard. She had never been good at vulnerability. Even losing Caleb hadn't taught her how to open up. She'd locked her grief behind sarcasm, behind snark, behind her old habits of lashing out when anyone got too close. Finally, she whispered, I don't want to lose y'all. You won't, Chris promised. But we ain't gonna let you drag us down either. The room softened after that. Tammy wiped her eyes quickly, hoping no one noticed, but of course they did. Amy pulled out a box of tissues. Girl, we always notice. Tammy chuckled through her tears. Y'all annoying. Love you too, Amanda shot back. The conversation shifted after that, turning from confrontation into something more constructive. They talked about boundaries, communication, therapy, stress, grief, food triggers. Real stuff Tammy usually avoided. And though she protested a little here and there, she listened. Really listened. It wasn't a magic fix. It wasn't a huge breakthrough. But it was a start. By the time the siblings left her house, something felt different in the air. Softer. Lighter. Outside on the porch, Chris let out a long breath. Well, that went better than I expected. Amanda nodded. I thought she was gonna throw a shoe at me. She still might next time, Amy said, laughing. But maybe she's ready to do the work. Back inside, Tammy sat quietly on her couch, replaying everything in her mind. She hated hearing hard truths, but the reality stung. She had been hurting the people who cared about her most. She pulled out her phone and typed a message into the family group chat. Thank y'all for being real with me. I'm gonna try harder. I promise. The 3 dots appeared almost immediately. From Chris, we're here. Just don't make us regret it, face with tears of joy. From Amanda, don't start, none won't be none.